Blade Runner 2049. This is obviously the sequel to Blade Runner and is based 30 years after the first one. The stuff that happened in the first one, the confusing as fuck first movie, it continues it. Now, this will probably be a longer review compared to other ones. The last few days I've done some very short reviews because I've watched them very late, but this one I saw a few days ago. This is the last review I've got to do. This is the review that I'm now up to date with at the time of filming, but it's probably be uploaded a few days after I've filmed it anyway. But this movie is weird and confusing, but good. And okay, so the first Blade Runner I literally watched on the same day. I hadn't seen it yet. I bought it. Bango, I can't find it here. Okay. So I bought it and I watched it and I've heard there's like another 3 or 4 fucking versions of it and I was like, this movie's confusing as fuck. But I got the concept, and getting the concept was kind of the stage to go and see this movie. And I feel like even if you hadn't seen the first one, I feel like it's not going to have the biggest impact because the movie's confusing it as shit anyway. It obviously follows Ryan Gosling's character and the shit he goes through. I really won't talk about the plot because the plot is very important to what the movie's about and, well, you know, what happens in the movie. And I don't really want to talk about it because I might give it something away, and it was exciting not really knowing what to expect from this movie. First off, this movie is just so well done. This movie, the soundtrack works so well, the shots are so beautifully done. It's just a perfectly made film. The only downfall I feel is the runtime. It is very, very long, so it can get boring. I think early on, I think the first half of this movie, there was times where I was kind of not disengaged, but just not as, you know, engaged as I should have been. And it can get to that side of boring. But the second half I really enjoyed. I thought it was a lot of great scenes put together really well. I think the stories are woven really well with a few missed things that I'm not going to really talk about. I might talk about and leave a little spoiler warning, but the acting was pretty good. I loved Ryan Gosling in this movie. Harrison Ford was really good. He's aged though. You can see that when he runs. No, he's getting a lot older and you can see it. And there was a lot of side characters that I enjoyed. And it gave me a good movie. This is a really, really well-made movie. And it was more than I expected. I've seen the first Blade Runner and kind of going, I can respect it, but I don't necessarily love it. This one I could really look and go, okay, that was really well done. I get it. I know what they're doing. I got it. I understood it. Pretty good movie. And that's what I thought. I thought it was a really, really well-made movie. The plot was really good and enjoyable, and it was engaging, predominantly more in the second half than in the first half. But it's a very cool concept of movies and cool stuff they gave us. And I definitely got something out of it that I didn't necessarily get out of the first one. And I know that might sound weird because a lot of people are like, you think the second one's better than the first one? Are you serious? Being able to see the characters on screen and seeing these actors that I know is probably a better thing for me, because when I'm watching 80s movies, I'm like, oh, that's Harrison Ford. Who the fuck's the rest? I don't know. And seeing characters and actors I knew in this movie definitely helped me enjoy this movie and get engaged with this movie more than I get engaged with the first one. Again, it does run a little long. I think 2:30, 2:45 is probably a bit too long. Maybe could have stuck to 2:15 or something like that. But it definitely delivered on what it tried to do, and I think they gave it a good movie. Now I'm going to put a little spoiler thing here so you guys can jump back in later, and I'll put one right now so you guys click. I'll give you a few seconds to click on that and jump back in when I am not talking spoilers. Okay, I'm going to talk spoilers. Jared Leto is barely in this movie. I never understood what they did with that, because he kind of disappears after the ending, after they kind of resolve everything with Harrison Ford and get him away, blah blah. Nothing really gets resolved with Jared Leto's character, which I thought was a bit weird. Bit stupid. Harrison Ford really only is in like the last 45 minutes, and there was a really great 45 minutes when he was in it, you know, an hour, whatever it may be. But I definitely think he could have been in more of the movie and definitely seen a little more. Did Harrison Ford die? Did Ryan Gosling's character die in the end? I'm not really sure. Let me guys know. I can't say that because you guys will comment and go like, yeah, I think he died. But just a little food for thought, as well as I really enjoyed the dynamic between the robot characters in Ryan Gosling being, you know, a replicant, and that literally not a replicant but a robot character that he dates, and she dies. I think that was a very emotional moment when he dies. I think she definitely delivered her part. But I'll let you guys come back. Now, I didn't really talk a lot of spoilers then. I think I've talked spoilers a lot more, but I kind of had just little queries and stuff I threw out to people that watched that. But if not, I definitely spoke about a little bit about how I enjoyed the dynamic between Ryan Gosling's character and his kind of love interest character. I really enjoyed that dynamic in there, and there was definitely really good aspects that I liked. Maybe if it was a little bit shorter, a little more engaging for that first, not even first, like the first 15 minutes, 30 minutes is good. I think the next half an hour, maybe if they pump that up, then we're good. I'm giving it a B+. Again, just that little segment or more could have bumped it up to an A, but I definitely think this is one of the best movies of the year. And I definitely think it's a movie that you either like or you don't like. I don't think it's going to be like, yeah, it was alright. I feel like you really got to like this movie or you're really going to dislike this movie. I feel like there's a very weird in-between that not many people will fall into. But that is it, guys. As I said, this video I'm filming on the same day as my other reviews since Kingsman, so that's why I've always got the hat on and shit like that, and I'm having an awful hair day. And please check out my going to LA vlog, because that's a very important video for what's coming up on the channel, as well as what's coming up in LA, because I'm going to LA to be a superstar. Not really, I'm going on holiday, but nonetheless, check that video out, because that is a huge video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you thought of the video below, as well as liking, subscribing, and having a good one.